Patrick Bitature. I'm a businessman in Uganda. Today I want to talk, especially to the startups, tell you about the things you've got to watch out for. I've probably said this before, but I need to emphasize it again. When you start a business, start with what you've got. Don't keep complaining about capital, because I hear that too often. Even my business today is still looking for capital. Everybody's looking for capital. It will never be enough, but you start with what you've got and get along the way. Start improving. You will improve bit by bit and retain those earnings, retain that profit in the business to help it grow. Then you have less need for capital in the future. But the need will always be there. You can always do more when you have capital. But don't let it make you complacent. Learn to work with minimum in to make sure you get maximum out. And that's what building a business is. So what am I saying? When you start a business, mind number one, the expenses. Because if you let those expenses creep up, because they are what I call bells and whistles, the frills, the good things in a business, those things can trip you. You need nice furniture, you need a briefcase, you need a computer, you need also a laptop, all those extras to make sure that you're in an ideal world. They're expenses. They're not going to necessarily bring more money in the business. If you are farming and you've got goats, don't spend so much money building the most beautiful goat sty or goat's house or pig sty or cow shed. Spend the money on the animals. So invest in the product that delivers money. Don't get caught up in the company cars and some of those unnecessary expenditure. So watch your expenses. That's the number one item. The second item is watch your cash flow. Make sure whatever business you're doing, you keep a very close eye on your cash flow. If you give credit at the beginning, you're in trouble. Some businesses have to give credit, then you plan for it. Make sure you factored in enough capital to keep you afloat so that you can meet your obligations. Because cash flow is king. And I emphasize cash flow is king. Make sure you always have cash flow. When a business is not so profitable, you can fine-tune it and make it more profitable if it's strong with cash flows. If a business is very profitable, but the cash flows are very weak, that business is going to really struggle and most likely collapse. So make sure you keep an eye on cash flow, because cash flow is important. You must have the money to meet the day-to-day expenses, to make things happen, to pay your suppliers. And that's what you've got to keep an eye on. So build a system, because you, the owner, at times you get it wrong also. So you have the accountants around you to manage what is cash flow, what can be used, what cannot be used. What are capital expenditure, what is recurrent expenditure. You need to pay your staff on time, that's not their problem. Pay them. You need to pay for the rent, pay it. You need to pay your utility bills, pay them. The profit comes at the end. That's why it's called profit. It's you who's paid last, the owner of the business. So you try and make sure you clear everybody else. And sometimes you do very well, sometimes you don't do well. That's the risk you take as the entrepreneur. So think about these things when you start a business. And as the business grows, you'll get better. But those principles will always apply. Cash flow, expenses. Keep an eye on those two sharply. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Share this video and let the young people of the region, not just Uganda, know what you have learned today. I hope it has been useful. Thank you very much.